Hey everybody, welcome back to the last, I can't believe this, but it's the last panel show for the Momentum Tribe Live. And if you don't know what that is, well, we want you to go and check out www.MomentumTribe.LIVE. It is a virtual live conference that we are producing to bring value to you, to help you magnify your momentum so that you can boost your business. And today the panel, I'm pretty excited about this panel. This is the last panel for the month, and actually the last panel before we go into conference week next week. And today's episode of the money panel, we will be discussing the topic of 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. I'm psyched about this panel because I actually have a new face in this panel, and he happens to be one of the presenters at on conference day. So let me just quickly bring Judy on first, and you've seen Judy on our weekly show, so let me just do this. Here we go, Judy.
Hey everybody.
How are you?
I'm great, Steph. How are you today?
I am doing great. I am pretty stoked about what's coming in fast for next week. Yeah. And, we talk about this a lot, and we say, when we do the countdown, your heart starts beating and, you're doing the right thing. I know I've been getting a lot of goosies. I talk about this in all the shows. I get a lot of goosies because I know, we would probably be impacting some of our viewers' lives and business going into the new year. I'm pretty excited. Yeah. And I know you being a rookie with virtual live conferences, this is going to be awesome. We're going to bring you on this journey and a ride.
I'm really excited too, Zeph. I'm really looking forward to next Friday.
Oh my goodness. You know what? And today we're actually, bringing on a new face. We didn't get the chance to do this from September, but because, he was a new add-on later on, and lo and behold, we could have him on this broadcast. Woohoo! So guys, if you're watching this on Facebook or on Periscope, please go ahead and share this out, because this is going to be a phenomenal, and you think I have 200 miles per hour energy? Oh, wait till you see this gentleman that we're bringing on next on screen. So hold on tight to those seats. Put on your seat belts. I don't know. We might just combust on fire on camera today. Anyways, let me just quickly kind of, share with you why I'm pretty excited. So Matt Sapala is our next guest that we're bringing on screen, but he's a financial coach, published author, speaker, and president of Money Smart Company. Let me just read a little bit about him, and we'll just have him introduce himself more when he comes on. So he's called the America's Money Smart Guy. Matt Sapala, veteran of the United States Marine Corps, has dedicated his professional career to spreading financial literacy through a positive message and empowering members of the middle class to take charge of their personal finances and realize financial independence. Important. And he provides families and individuals with the necessary tools and guidance to improve their financial literacy, make informed decisions, and achieve their short and long-term goals for their financial lives. We talk about this, right, Judy? We talk about money. We talk about helping people, especially business owners. This is the time of the year when everybody's a little scattered, and they, oh my goodness, there's a lot of spending going on, but we also have to budget for what we need to spend for a business, right? You talk about this a lot.
Absolutely.
And I think this is going to be a great topic today: 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. And let me bring him on. Let me see if he's behind the scenes. Here we go. Hey, Matt. Matt's doing. We caught Matt on the hello. Doing it right, and he's doing it right. This is awesome. He's doing it right because he's probably catching this on social media, aren't you?
You got it. Absolutely.
Let me put this. This is awesome. This is what it's all about. Matt, welcome to MomentumTribe.LIVE, the money panel show. I am so excited to have you on. You know what? This is the last show for the season. Like all our broadcasts, this is the last show. So I know I have 200 miles per hour energy. You probably have 500. We might all combust on fire shortly.
Money is energy. So,
yes.
You are chilled and too kickback. Money's not going to attract itself to you. So, hey.
I love that you say that. So Matt, let's hear a little bit about your story. I know we were going to talk about the 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur, and you, with your background as a veteran, tell us a little bit about that journey from being in the core to an entrepreneur, because this is always fascinating to me.
Well, thanks for asking. So I'm Filipino by background. I'm probably the tallest Filipino anybody to run across. I'm 6'3", Filipino. So, being a Filipino boy, you're raised to be a doctor, dentist, engineer, architect, or an accountant. And if you're a Filipino woman, you're raised with one thing: to be in your future, you're supposed to be a nurse. So, I was completely always against it. I was born here, and like, why do I have to be one of those things? I was just never meant to be fit in a box. And so I went against a lot of things, and I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and I realized my 7th, 8th year in the Marine Corps, I love the Marine Corps. I get to play G.I. Joe, and I get paid for it. But I realized too that it wasn't financially compensating me, especially then I had a son, I had a family. I was making $20,000 a year, and literally I was below the poverty level. I was stationed in California, Southern California at that, and here we are in the WIC line, women, infants, and children line, to get cereal and bread and eggs. And it's humiliating for me. Here am I, a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and I can't even buy food. I'm depending on California to help me buy food. So I ran into a retired master sergeant who saw my frustration, and he asked me 2 questions. He says, "You like money?" And I said, "Yes." Right? And then he asked me a second question. "You like a lot of money? You like a lot of money?" And I said, "Yes, yes." He said, "Well, in order for you to attract money and you to get money, you got to know the rules. Do you know the rules?" I'm like, "No." "You know the rules." I'm no. So I had to make a change. So that's where
that decision was the key decision, right? So we talk about this a lot on the Momentum Tribe Live, season and the journey and leading to the conference. We talk about this a lot, and we focus on this. Actually, it's not only the momentum, but actually the action. So what your story is telling us is it's all about the execution of the action, which is, I think, really key. Make that decision and just execute it, right? So let me just quickly do a shout out to everyone who's watching on Facebook Live. If you're watching here, I'm broadcasting in 2 places on Facebook. Whether you're on my Facebook page or you're in the Momentum Tribe Live group, just go ahead and make your comments there, and I will actually try to take that conversation to the room right here. I just want to do a quick shout out to Captain Crystal Stout, who's watching on Facebook. Thank you for joining us, guys. This is going to be a very, very energetic broadcast, so please go ahead and share this out. All right. So Matt, we have this conversation about 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. You picked this topic. Let's get started with, what's important in winning the money game as an entrepreneur?
I think the biggest skill set, because in order for you to launch and do your thing as an entrepreneur, you got to learn how to sell. And as a United States Marine, dealing with PTSD issues and rejection issues, and the reason why a lot of guys, we don't ask the girl out we want to date is because we're afraid of rejection, right? And then we settle, and we're not happy. So I think that one of the most important things for us to learn as entrepreneurs is not only create a great product, not only create a widget, not only find a solution to our problem, but how do we sell it? And so I think oftentimes people lack sales skills. And what happens is they lack sales skills, and then they lack closing skills. And then when it comes to entrepreneurship, they don't make any money, and they don't think business works. And so I think one of the things that we need to constantly sharpen as an entrepreneur is to learn how to sell our idea. And then, when we think about sales, you think about the car salesman. Nothing against the salesman, but we can always take an advantage of somehow, some way.
Let me ask you this. You have why does it seem that certain entrepreneurs make an impact in their marketplace and some don't? So I'm going to take your take on this, and then we'll go to Judy and ask her, because Judy talks about this a lot also. So let's just do a dive in right now. why? I mean, does it seem that certain people make it better, make a better impact in their marketplace, and some don't? And that's, you know, that happens anyway.
Was that for me?
Yes, that's for you.
Here I am. I'm in the financial services world. Mm-hmm. The average age of the agent/advisor in my industry is 59, 60 years old, Caucasian male. And so when I came into the industry at 25 years old, it's always been weird for me because they never think I'm in the industry. Here I am at conferences, and I remember one conference, and I started learning sales skills, and I started out-producing a lot of the guys that had been on 15, 20 years. So to me, I never cared whether or not I was white, black, brown, whatever the case may be. Me, capitalism doesn't care. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurship doesn't care. You provide results, that cares. The market pays attention to those who actually go out and do it. And I never thought of myself as, just because I don't have the right pedigree, or even today I do not have a college degree. I have a PhD. I have a public high school diploma, but
I love that. I love that. It's all about your perception and the mindset. And we talk about this a lot. And Judy talks about it a lot too. And that's why we're so big on the 4 M's at Momentum Tribe Live, because we figure out that actually it was inspired by our fellow money panelist. She's not here today, Kim Kasperi, and I really wish she was here, but she's not feeling well. So it's just us today. But she talked about the 4 M's, the mindset, the marketing, the management, and the money part. They all are interrelated. And what you just said right there, the mindset is huge, especially when it comes to money. Yeah, Judy, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, Matt, thank you for your service. But you're right on the money with sales skills. I could not agree more. And there's the hard skills of what to say when and how to close and how to handle the objections. But there's also the inner game, the mindset stuff. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I had a really hard time with this at first. And I thought sales was the used car salesman and ick. Who wants to do that? Yeah. Until I realized that when I approach these sales conversations with a desire to serve, coming from a place of service, it just like a light switch just clicked and worked so much more easily, better, great results. But yes, you have to be able to sell. You have to be able to sell yourself too, which is even harder than selling some random widget that you might be selling.
It's funny that, all I'm hearing this entire week was about the mindset and about making that decision, and just it's about servicing others. And we talked about this a lot throughout the season. I've noticed every speaker talks about this, which is get, know, like, and trust that person when you are in that service, because until and unless somebody knows you, like you, and trusts you, whatever you say, whatever you try to get them to where you want them to be may not happen, because they don't trust you. They don't like you. They don't know you. So that's all about that mindset. And especially when it comes to money. Here's another question. So Matt, what are areas do you focus your resources on?
For me, I focus my resources on things that I don't like to do. Right? Because if I'm focusing on improving my weaknesses, then the best I can ever be at those weaknesses is mediocre.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I focus on my A game every day, a couple things happen. Is I love getting to my office. I jump out of bed. I'm constantly in my power spot every day. Now, my wife and I, she's my business partner. She works side by side with me.
That's
right?
awesome.
She doesn't like doing this stuff. She doesn't like being on camera.
It's not her thing.
Right? But she loves seeing clients one-on-one. She loves putting together portfolios. And by the way, I did that for 12 years. I was a licensed advisor, insurance agent for 12 years. I didn't renew my licenses, went into the media for 2 years. And I said, let me get back into my industry. But I didn't want to be I didn't want to be in sales anymore from a producer standpoint, which is actually leading up to my second point. But my wife, she goes, babe, I love what you do. I love seeing clients. She's got the matter of fact. She's the smart one between us. She's got the finance degree.
That's awesome.
You guys sound like a great team.
I know. Isn't that the truth? And we talk about this a lot, whenever, especially when you work with the spouse, there's always going to be the opposite strengths. And then you just need to know how to focus that. Let's talk a little bit of the resources, because Judy, you talked about this in your Takeover Tuesdays live, I think, this week. And we talk about, whenever we talk about money and business, you got to go and find your clients first, get your customers first before you start investing wisely. And that's what you talked this week, which was investing wisely. And a part of the resources, how the resources and investing wisely chime together, is the fact that you got to know what your strengths are. If you cannot do those things that you don't like to do, just delegate. But in order to delegate, you have to invest for somewhere, which is, you got to go find a client, make the money, and then you can delegate that out. Boom. Am I right, Judy? Do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And depending on where you're coming from, some of us want to do that early, hire a team, get that done. And that can be a little bit risky. Not that there's anything wrong with the risk, but some of us, and I'll put myself in this camp, just drag our feet. Yeah. I'm so slow at hiring when I need it. I know I need it. I know I could go further faster if I could just let go of some of this stuff. I'm getting better at it. But yeah, it's a journey.
Absolutely.
But investing in people to do the things that aren't in your zone of brilliance is a great investment. So that way you can do your thing.
Yes. It's so important. And I think as you grow and you're figuring out how you can scale what you do, that's one of the biggest things. Everybody needs to learn how to do that. Matt, let me ask you this. What's your advice to those entrepreneurs out there who are just learning to delegate, who are just budgeting their money, to delegate out those, those things that they don't want to do because, I'm at that point right now. I'm like, I don't want to do the video edits. Go find somebody else to do it. And you know what? I made a commitment to do more in my business, to get clients, to create projects that actually bring in money so that I can actually delegate this out. What are some of your, I would say, take one tip. I know there's so many, but what's one tip that you can advise our entrepreneurs out there who are watching today, who's just struggling with this? Do I put the money now in this tool first, or do I actually hire somebody 10 hours a week to do my video editing? What's your thought and take, and maybe some tips for them out there?
Yes. Administrative, don't do it. Right? If it's paperwork, in general, you shouldn't be doing $10, $15, $20 an hour work. Your brilliance is $100, $250, $500 type of work. Do not delegate your brilliance. Do not delegate the sales responsibility of growing your company. You're responsible for business development. You need to develop your business. That's where you're working on the business. In the business is administrative tech. On the business is where you need to be at. So, again, a quick example. I didn't like to do the video edits. I didn't even know how to set up a website. I didn't know how to blog. And I hired my cousins in the Philippines.
That's what I did too. And I love that you actually shared that. And these are the nuggets that I think, when people talk about money, because I know when I was there and I was growing, I had to figure out, okay, do I actually spend money on my automation tool, or do I really go out there for this entire quarter, go and get clients, get money in, and then I can really sit down and take a budget. Like, you have to budget it, folks, because it's something that you're gonna be paying monthly or weekly or whatever. And then I say, okay, I do need one person to do X, Y, or Z. Judy, what's your take on that? How do you do it? What's your tip? What's your advice?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can actually hire someone to set up some of that automation for you. Mm-hmm. And then you get a double bonus. I know a bunch of people that do that kind of work, do systems integration and business process integration. And that's a great bang for the buck. And it can be a one-time deal, or it can be an ongoing deal. So that's the other thing to think about is, do you need this person one time? Is a different budgetary exercise, or is this something that you need ongoing? Is it social media blogging? For you, editing videos is sure a continuous thing. You have to make sure that you have the income to support that. But a one-time investment, you know, automating some of your processes is an easier bite to take.
Exactly. Matt, do you have a percentage of, you know, percentage that you assign to hiring out your resources? You know, like you're hiring a team of marketers to do X, Y, Z. Do you budget a percentage of your income, or you have a marketing budget for it?
Yeah. So when I first started my business, I didn't live on my business for about a good year. Minimal withdrawals from the business to support my personal life. For me, listen, everybody laughed at me because the first flat screen TVs that came out wasn't at my house. I posted in my office because I make money with that flat screen TV in my office, not at my house watching football. Right. So a majority of my money in the first year or two always went back into the business. So I'd say it was an unproportional amount of money that I was reinvesting back into the business just to set up those systems, just to set those processes, because I'm not good at that stuff. But you want to hold those people accountable. You want to be able to hire them and say, okay, this is what I'm expecting to do. This is what I expect because this is what I know. This is your power spot. I'm hiring you because my weakness is your power spot. Impress me from here. Right. This is my minimum expectation. And if you have the budget to do it, hire two for the same position. And you tell them, listen, 30 days from now, 60 days from now, I'm going to hire one of you. I want to see who's going to be. And your best bet, because of the internal competition, you hire both of them because they're both fighting for the job.
Oh, that's a great tip right there.
Love her.
I know. I was just like, I just had the light bulb go on. And I think that's why I love to do this broadcast, is because you never know. It's just like sitting out at a cafe or a bistro and having a conversation, but we're having it on screen. So on screen actually affects better and bigger and reach more people. And quick shout out to Anna, Leland, Steve, who's watching. April Roga, welcome to the broadcast. Guys, if you are enjoying this conversation, 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. And we have Judy Otten in the house. Woo, woo. And we also have our keynote speaker at the MomentumTribe.LIVE conference on Friday next week. Oh my God, Friday next week. And Matt Sapal is in the house. Whoop, whoop. Hey, my friends, if you're a veteran, you got to listen in. This gentleman right here will give you some great tips. Connect with him. I know, Jeffrey, if you're watching this, go ahead and connect with Matt. All right. Hey, Jacqueline from Netherlands. She's in the house. Hi, Jacqueline. So we're talking about 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. I just have one more question before we go to the 4. There are several key areas that either launch entrepreneurs to the next level or keep them, they're stuck in frustration. What are those areas you think, Matt?
The areas of frustration. That's a frustration for an entrepreneur.
Oh, we're having some. Okay, try that again.
Okay.
The audio is going in and out. Yep.
Okay. I think one of the best books that we read, a good suggestion I read, is not even me. It's this book, Relentless, by Tim Grover. The inner game, the checkup from the neck up, is what this book is all about. And he was actually the personal trainer for Michael Jordan for 15 years, Kobe Bryant for 3 years, Dwayne Wade for 3 years. And make a long story short, the areas of frustration, you got to quickly find out what that is. Because sometimes if you don't know what the leak is in your business, the worst part about having frustration in your business is not knowing where the leak is at. So we got to take time to find out, okay, what's not allowing my business to progress? Is it me? Am I standing in my own way? Is my finances getting in my own way? Is my team really getting, the team is supposed to help me, are they getting in my own way? Am I in the right niche? Am I in the right industry? So there's a lot of things you got to figure out about your business.
The frustration.
And willing to adapt. You know, one of the things we had in the Marine Corps is a saying, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Right? Nothing's going to be perfect. Perfect timing, perfect widget, perfect staff, perfect you. Never going to happen. So you got to improvise, you got to adapt, and you got to overcome.
Improvise, people. Find out what your frustration is. And I know I've heard a lot of this, and we talk about this on some of our weekly broadcasts. People get frustrated, and that's the reason why I think I'm so big about putting together this virtual live conference, because hey folks, I don't care. You don't have to smell good, you don't have to brush your teeth, you just have to show up and share your value and watch. Not that I'm encouraging it, but you can actually sit down wherever you are in your space and attend a live conference and get tons of value when you leave the conference. And I know when I went on a journey of the virtual live conferences, I got to meet people all around the world, like one from each continent, like in weeks. And before I know it, I'm like, wow, they're like family to me. And then I worked in collaborative projects like this one. I love bringing people together. I've always been a connector. And I think, we talk about this. When we get frustrated, if we lose our momentum, we are not going to propel forward in our business. Push. For some of you who don't know this story, why I started Momentum Tribe Live was, I went through a cancer journey in 2014. I was literally forced to take time out. And I thought, oh, it's going to be 3-4 months. And I didn't realize it was going to take 1 year. I lost my momentum. I lost my inspiration. I lost my empowerment. I needed people like Judy, like Matt. And I said, where would I find these people? And when I was sick in bed, I used the virtual live conference format, or the live broadcast format, to connect with people and still get information. And it's just key, I think, in this day and age. If you're frustrated, if you're a solo entrepreneur, a small business owner, if you're not connecting with people, you have a tool right here. You can connect with people like Judy, Matt, myself, and still learn and get information. And we could probably help you boost your business, even though you think like there's no more hope. And I'm always like passionate talking about that, because I've met so many people through live broadcasts. Right. Let's just go back to Judy. What about you, Judy? What do you think some people do not progress to the next level? And, how do you handle the frustrations?
Yeah. Well, you're right about having a tribe. We talked about this in one of the previous shows. And like Matt said, that first year, 18 months, 2 years for any business is tough. And you need those people that get what you're going through, because sometimes our spouses don't. I mean, my spouse has worked for the same company for 30 years. Who does that?
Yes.
But he looks at what I do and says, who does that? So it works for us.
I just want to quickly read something that April Roga is saying here. That's what Zig Ziglar talked about, getting a checkout on the neck up. And Anna put in the link to the book you mentioned, which is, thank you so much, Anna. You're such a trooper. You always drop in links like bombshells. Boom. And thank you for putting that to the book that Matt mentioned just now. And she says, I learned so much from my breakfast nuke office this way. This is awesome. And I think that's, I know, Matt gets it, right? We all get it. So if we were to say, what are the 4 key areas to winning the money game as an entrepreneur, Matt, do you want to kind of wrap us out in that 4 key areas?
Yeah. So 4 key areas all together is: number 1, sales. Number 2 is continue the journey of entrepreneurship. Just because you made a decision, go in business, doesn't mean you're fully in business. It's a journey. Entrepreneurship, it's a craft. It's an ongoing process. Trust the process. Because there's a new skill set and mindset shift, right? Boom. The third one is really understanding what industry. If you're an entrepreneur, you got to figure out what industry you want to get involved in. You got to figure out what's going to make the most bang for the buck. I had a guy here last night. He's selling these little clips for, these little microchips for whatever. And I said, even if you do well in sales, even if you do an entrepreneurship, at the end of the day, this industry, is it a new industry? Is it going to make you a lot of money? Is it a multi-million-dollar industry? Is it a multi-billion-dollar industry? Is it a multi-trillion-dollar industry? Because at the end of the day, by default, if you build a business in this industry, you'll make X amount of dollars just by default by being in a wealthy industry. Like I was telling my kids, if you want to play sports and make a lot of money playing sports, do you play football, play basketball, or you play baseball? I'm a football guy, but I got to be honest, baseball players make more money. So get a baseball bat and a mitt. Let's go throw the ball around. Right? And then number 4 is platform. what platform are you going to use? Is it online? Is it retail? Is it mom and pop? Is it franchise? Is it solopreneurship? What platform are you going to use?
I love that. So 1 is sales. 2 is, what would you say 2 was?
Journey of entrepreneurship. It's a process.
Okay. And 3 is what industry. And number 4 is platform. Guys, if you're out there watching Facebook, I know Anna will probably drop this, but those are the 4 things, the 4 keys to winning the money game as an entrepreneur. Figuring out a platform is, I think, is important for, and I share this with some people in the past, and this has been an aha moment in the past 3 days, which was when I started live broadcasting. We talk about, where do you want to be? Do you want to be online? Do you want a retail store? And I talked about, like, how would I show up for my, how do I show up best for my audience, for the people that I want to serve? And I joked about this. I said, I'm so animated. That's why I need to be here. Not because I'm vain, I want to be on camera. It's just like, I feel like people will not get my energy if they're not watching me on a video, because I'm like always like this. Malaysians have this hand too, like Italians. So he's laughing, Matt's laughing. And that's the truth, right? You got to figure out your platform, because I think people struggle with that also, because there's so many platforms. Just giving you an example in number 4, right? So, and then I met somebody yesterday, because I've been putting the podcast idea at the back of on the back burner, because I wasn't sure. I'm like, would really people get my energy when I do podcasts? I really don't know. I don't think, because I feel like my animation connects people. And somebody said to me, no, Zaf, you actually will do a great podcast. And I'm like, really? And I think that's why we bring together people to a conference like this, because sometimes you don't know what you're good at. You don't know what your strengths are, what your vulnerability points are, right? So people help you. And I think this is awesome. Like now, 4 things. And some people might be thinking like, oh, I didn't even think about platform. Oh, that actually, that actually affects the way I make money. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Because it's how we show up. If you don't enjoy the way you show up to your audience, how you're going to help them? What about you, Judy? Any thoughts to add to the 4 points or 4 key areas that Matt mentioned here?
I love this. And I especially love that you called out the journey of entrepreneurship, because it's not poof, I'm an entrepreneur. It's ongoing and never ending. We can always up level our skills. We can always improve our business. We can always grow our business, branch out to a new platform or an adjacent industry. And that's the journey, and that's the fun.
Yes. Oh my God, it's a journey. It's like, you're growing up, you watch your child grow up from 3 years old to 7 and then till, adulthood. And I think it's that. And I think people make that mistake with entrepreneurship, especially with making money, is rushing things, right? And Wagner dos Santos, who's actually on our marketing panel, we talked about social activation marketing on our panel yesterday. And he mentioned something really great. And he says, it's not about the product and service. Do you know? He says, in this world that we live in now, things have changed. It's just all about, how you show up for the other person, how you serve that other person. It's that usually that personal branding of facts, how you connect with your audience, because then it makes it easier to become an influencer and help them make the decision that they need to make to help themselves. And I'm like, wow, that was deep.
That's awesome.
It's very important. So folks, if you're watching this, Matt, lots of sound bites and nuggets here from Judy and Matt today. And for some of you who are just tuning in here on a replay or on the live broadcast with us right now, just to let you know real quickly where to get this, where to meet them again on December 1st. So the screen right now, Matt and Judy are both featured at the Momentum Tribe Live virtual live conference on Friday, December 1st. Go get your pass, people. To watch the live broadcast is free, so go ahead and get it. If you're not sure you're going to be there, just get it anyways, because then you'll have the opportunity to say last minute, oh, I can watch a show today, and just come on and join us. And you see there are about 17 speakers right here on the screen, but we actually have more than 20 because we have our session presenters. And then Matt's time, he will actually be the keynote. We scheduled him for 9:30 a.m. New York, and that's 2:30 p.m. UK, 10:30 p.m. Perth time. Yes, people, I'm a global person. I don't do EST, PST, CST. I only do New York, UK, Perth, Canada, or Toronto. And Judy, I believe, is scheduled. Matt's going to do the one missing ingredient to change. If you want to know what that one missing ingredient is, come tune in at 9:30 a.m. New York time at MomentumTribe.LIVE. And Judy's scheduled to speak at 11:30 a.m. New York, 4:30 p.m. UK, and 12:30 a.m. Perth. I know you Perth people don't sleep, so come join us anyway. And I just want to say thank you to both of you for taking your some time out from your busy schedule to be on the show. The reason I love to do the broadcast is that I think our audience need to know and like and trust everybody. So this is a preview, a taste, a sampler of what's to come, right, on conference day. And I joke about this, sometimes when you go to the actual live conferences, when you go out to breakout sessions, you're like, who is this person? I don't even know this person. So this is a replay button. You can watch again and again. You go like, oh, I like Judy. I want to go watch her breakout session. Oh, I need to attend Matt's keynote. So come join us, people. Less tips, Matt, for all of our viewers out there.
Last tips?
Yes, last tips to make money.
Last tips to make money. Number one, vision. You don't have to 2008 first of the day. Number two, don't listen to the broke person. See, that
was a soundbite you didn't expect, but it's there.
Especially now that Thanksgiving is here, you're gonna be around friends and family, like what Judy was saying earlier. People just don't understand you. Listen,
oh my
God. Right? The reason why you have a dream, God gave you a dream. Nobody else gave you a specific dream for you to understand. And it's up for you to go and express it. My family didn't support me for 14 years, but they did support the fact I sent them on vacation. They did support the fact I need and go to the Philippines.
That's how you win.
That's how you win. Listen, support can be purchased.
I love that. I love that. I love that. But that's the truth, isn't it? Sometimes we joke about it, but think about it. There's power in winning in that way, and you don't have to be all, in the face about it, but it's all about the authenticity and the organic way of doing things. It happens naturally. It's part of life. It's part of the journey. And I've been taught by some of the biggest leaders and trainers also that says, don't listen to a broke person. And it's true. And if you want to progress and go big, find somebody who's been through the trenches and have been successful and learn from them, because they're the only ones who know what you will be going through. It's just like one of my mentors used to say, they will tell you there's a hole in front of you. Don't go in that hole. But what do? We go right in that hole. Right? And we say, don't touch that wet paint. If you put, this is psychology. You'll put a sign, wet paint. What do most people do? Touch it. Exactly, right? So it's all psychology. So don't listen. I love that you mentioned, we're going to be around family and, things could happen. Yeah. Judy, last tips for our audience today.
And keep working it. Keep learning, keep growing, keep working on your mindset. Don't give up. It's not easy, but it is so worth it to be in control of your own destiny.
Oh, I love that. And here's one thing I would leave for all of you out there is this, right? At the end of the day, if you're always sulking, you're complaining because you're having sluggish sales, you're not making money, right? There's no momentum. We can actually, when you attend the conference, we can actually help boost up your momentum by inspiring, empowering you. But at the end of the day, if you're not executing the action steps, the process, the systems, if you don't get the results that you have planned for, that's nobody else's fault. Whose fault it is? It's our fault. Yeah. So, push. That was deep, people, but that's the truth, isn't it, folks? Because if you're not doing it, you're not gonna get it, and you can't blame other people because we live in a society that we're always like we want to point it to somebody else, but you got to look at yourself. What did you not do today? What do you need to do for tomorrow? And if you're not doing it, you will not get the results. So I shall leave at that. Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you, Judy, for being here today. Guys, you've been watching the Momentum Tribe Live Money Panel Show, and we are bringing you the greatest experts, world-class experts, on Friday, December 1st at the Momentum Tribe Live Fall 2017 Virtual Live Conference. That means just pick up your phone, just pick up your mobile devices, and join us. Go to MomentumTribe.LIVE to get your free pass. And until then, folks, we'll see you at the conference. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Judy. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Judy. Thanks, Zeph.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
Bye now.